How to create an online course, tips from this channel's creators. If you are a beginner in the course creation, or if you have been troubled with course creation, struggling to move forward, or if you want to accelerate the speed of your course creation, then you've landed in the right place. My name is Ruba Tijani. And we are here documenting our journey of passive income. My favorite passive income source at the moment is online courses. And so I'm going to share with you in this video 5 tips that will help you in your journey. My most favorite one is the last one, so stay tuned and watch this video until the end. Tip number 1 is to have a solid offer. And for me, the importance of the offer comes because it is truly only when you are offering that when you start selling. Until you have an offer, you're not selling anything. And on the other hand, you could have an offer even though when your course is not ready, and that's how you can start selling. So oftentimes it makes more sense to sell by having an offer even before you start creating your course. And you will see a lot of people talking about this reverse strategy that you sell your course first and then you create it. This is how you check the market. This is how you test it. You could do it this way, or you could do it the other way around, that you create your course first and then you sell it. Other ways, you need to do the selling anyways. And to do the selling, you need to have a great offer. So what do I mean when I say great offer? Your offer is basically the combination of the value that you are providing, the promise that you are giving, the problem that you are going to solve for your prospect clients, stacked value over value over value over value, all of these values to the point that you get your prospect client excited so that they want to jump on it, so that they say, yes, I want it. I will go for it, and I will go for it now. I'm not gonna wait because that's such an opportunity. It helps me. It solves my problem. Now I want it. I'm convinced. That's how powerful a great offer is. So you really want to play with the tone that you use and with the words that you select and with how you explain to them that you are going to solve a specific problem. You want to make sure that your promise is triggering a pain that they have so that they go like, yes, let's do it. You want to make sure that they feel that the value you're providing is this much compared to the price that they're paying. And the pain that they have at the moment is this much, which makes your solution huge because they want to get rid of the pain that they're having. And that's why before you're able to create a great offer, honestly, you need to have done your homework, mingling and maybe helping, even for free, the type of people you want to solve their problem. Because you want to understand the tone that they're using, the words that they're using, what words are triggering for them, and what is their point of view about the problem. How do they see it, and from which angle do you want to tackle it? Tip number 2 is to pick the right delivery type to your audience. Now, as you know, there are many different types of delivery for online courses. You could have a presentation with an audio attached to it, or you could have a video like one I'm recording at the moment, or you could have, sometimes in some courses, you could have like a file or a text that you want them to read. And from what I realized is there are some courses that it's not enough for me to have a presentation. I want the person to be speaking to me face to face. A public speaking course, for example. I want the instructor, I want the teacher to show up every day of the course, show me commitment, and just talk to me. Confidence courses and all the courses we really want to show by example what is it like to have those skills. So you want to show up. Unlike the courses where you're teaching them a skill that requires them to look at your screen, for example. Let's say you're teaching them how to design an Instagram feed or how to select colors for their color plates or like artistic stuff that maybe they don't necessarily need to see your face, but when you are teaching skills that requires you to be there, then it's absolutely important. Some of the mistakes that I see course creators do is that they show up in the beginning, and then before you are in that mode of accepting them and really following them and you're like in the course, they cut it by a text file, for example, where you go and you have to read. This is really one of the biggest turns off, at least for me, being a visual learner, because I want to see that person who's teaching me. I want to interact with them. I want to make sure that they're consistent. I just really want to have this connection. I don't want to read some text. Text perhaps could be an additional resource that I would do. Even if they just show up for 5 minutes and they tell me, okay, go download the text that I have ready for you. I did this mistake in some of my courses. I would start by showing up and then I would have a text. And I realized looking at the numbers from the back end in these courses that this is exactly when people were disconnected and they didn't want to continue the course. So my takeaway was, okay, let me be very consistent with the way that I deliver my course. If it's required to show up, then show up all through the course, or show up until the point that they are hooked to the course and they've already seen the value and that they don't mind, or until you have something practical to show. But don't just hide because you're lazy to record or because you just didn't have time and you had to launch, and all of these reasons that are happening quite often for course creators. Tip number 3, and I know that this is a controversial topic, and you might hear a lot of other course creators telling you, no, don't care about production, just focus on the promise and focus on the value that you're providing. Well, I think if you're starting out and this is kind of like your first course, yes, before you invest in the gear and the equipment and the microphone, you want to focus primarily on the value that you are giving. But I also want you to invest in a good microphone. Once you know what you're doing, this is becoming like a serious course for you. I want you to invest in a good microphone and in your production. When I first launched my public speaking course, Pilot, that I now will launch for the third time. So to my surprise, in the first time, all the 15 people who bought up the course, none of them bothered to continue till the end. Even until the third time of launching it, I kept on receiving feedback that the image was not great, the video was not great, and this came to me as a surprise because I was like, okay, I thought this is supposed to be about the value that I'm providing here. Production was one of the noisiest feedback that I kept on getting about that course. It was such an eye opener for me that yes, production does matter. At a certain stage, once you're comfortable with the creation, once you've figured out your value, once you have a little bit of budget to invest, go ahead and invest in a good microphone or a good mobile phone. If you like the value that you're getting in this video, please go ahead, support me, share with someone who might as well feel the value, and like and comment. Tip number 4 is to have a simple creation process. The reason for that is because everything is about energy. So if you really want to focus on the content, your creation process, which is like you first create a course outline and then you create it, you record it, you set it up on a platform, and then you sell it passively. Or you create an outline, you sell it, and then you create the course and then you set it up and sell it passively. Whatever way you choose to go, make sure that your creation process is simple, because what you don't want is to start creating in a very, very sophisticated process and a big course and something that is so difficult for you, and then get stuck in the middle or get stuck in the beginning, or paralyze yourself. Like, just you don't even start because your process is too complicated for you. So that is why I know that I advise you to take care about your production, but that is really in later stages. At the beginning, just focus on getting the hang of this. Just focus that you get it, you do it. You do it at least one time and then you do it for the second time. This is a process that you need to perfect at the end of the day. This is not something that you do just once. And if you realize most course creators are creating, they keep on creating, even if you have only one online course, you want to keep on improving it. You want to keep on adding more value and upgrading it and providing more to your students. Tip number 5, and that is my most favorite one. It seems obvious, but I feel like it is too simple that a lot of course creators might be overlooking it. Focus on your value. Focus on the value that you're providing. You want to be clear about a problem that you're solving, about a transformation that you're going to take your students through, and then deliver to that transformation. Focus on your value. You need to make sure that your promise is very clear at the beginning of a course, and then at the end of a course, you deliver that promise. Because the thing is, yes, marketing is important. Yes, an offer is super important. But if the people don't get what they signed up for, they're not going to be referrals. There might be a lot of requests for refunding. And just overall, this is a vicious cycle that is going to be really bad for your business. One thing that I love doing to check the value is to test it. Test the course first. So if you're launching for the first time, you might want to let the people know that this is the first time that you're launching this course and you are happy to receive feedback. Actually, be always happy to receive feedback, because feedback is the easiest way for you to improve the value. And you will see that in time, you are improving the value, upgrading, possibly even when you upgrade your value, you upgrade your price with it. So these are 5 tips for course creators from this channel's creators. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you received some aha moments and you had some value that will help you to move forward in your journey. And if you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like, comment below if you have any questions about whatever I mentioned in this video. See you tomorrow.